What happens to your equity if your business partners fire you? My name is Sam Bryant, and I'm an attorney that helps build and protect Florida businesses. So, if you got fired by your business partners and you had equity in the company, well, what happens to it? So, your equity in your company is your personal property. And so, if your business partners fired you, there has to be a mechanism with how that equity is dealt with. If you had an employment agreement, your employment agreement may deal with this issue. It may spell out that you had to sell your equity to the company, or maybe you had to sign a severance agreement that allowed you to receive a lump sum payment. But in essence, your business partners can't fire you and not compensate you for your equity if they want the equity back in the company. So I had a client that got fired from his company. He was involved with the rest. It was a restaurant. He was involved with it. They didn't get along. They ended up firing him. It was three partners against one, and he came to us to figure out what his rights were. Even though even though he was no longer involved in the day to day, they recognized that he still had equity in the company, and our role basically was to negotiate the buyout for that equity. And this happens because, again, that equity is personal property in the business. It's an asset. So even if you're fired, you will receive some sort of compensation. And that compensation is mainly for that equity. Now, what if you don't get any equity? Or what if this conversation about equity is never had and you just leave the business? In that scenario, you still have equity in the company. So the business can't just get rid of you. It can get rid of you in a day to day, but you're still on the table. You're still listed as an owner of that equity in the company. So it's in the best interest of the company to deal with that as soon as possible. That's why these buyouts are very attractive to the company and could be very attractive to you because it allows you to just separate yourself from the company to get a lump sum payment. But if they don't deal with that, then there's going to be issues here because if you get fired from the company and it's 2, 3 years down the road and the company gets sold to another person, or if there's some other type of merger or liquidity event and your equity is not compensated for, then there's a major issue here because that equity needs to be liquidated and it needs to be liquidated to you. So if you were fired from your business, if your partners fired you, or for whatever reason you're just no longer associated with the business, just recognize that there has to be something in place or some mechanism of dealing with your equity, whether that's an actual payout, it could be a payout over time, or it could be one lump sum payout, or it's a recognition that you're still a equity holder in the company, even if you're no longer an employee or associated with the company in an official capacity. So I hope you found that video helpful. If you have questions about what your rights are if you did get fired from your company, or what to do next, or to even see if you were compensated adequately, please feel free to get in contact with me. I'm always more than happy to help, and I can provide any guidance that you need along the way. Hope you found that video helpful again, and have a great day.